Welcome, everyone, to another episode of Saving the World podcast. We're here today with Tahira Amir Khan from the Golden Door Initiative. Welcome, Tahira. It's great to have you with us.
Thank you for inviting me. It's a real pleasure to be here.
We'd like to just give the time to you for a few minutes to kind of explain what the Golden Door Initiative is all about, how it can help us save the world together.
So the initiative is called Through the Golden Door. It's actually based on my first book, which is the same title. And when I was guided to write my book, it really was about the establishment of new societies that would support human advancement. So the slogan of the book is the doorway to our advancement. And so that's what the Golden Door, Through the Golden Door is all about. It's about supporting the human being. And everything about how we build society circles around the human. Even though it's actually supposed to be obvious. When you think about society, you think about people, right? But the problem is that in the real world, that is not really the case. It has an economic agenda. It has other agendas. It's not really around the human. So it's like a mismatch. So we need to put it right. So just to backtrack a little bit, how did I get into this? I was actually 20 over years in technology. I software engineer, and then I went into consulting, and then working out e-government frameworks for the Singapore government and also the Middle East government. So working out those frameworks and smart cities became a big buzzword in Singapore and around the world. Okay. And it escalated. Singapore is well known to be a smart city, and parts of India and all that, all around the world. So I was involved in that. And I had this realization, which is very much common sense. We are, as cities, becoming very smart technologically. But as humans, we're going backwards. The don't make me think mindset is there. And also people are declining. So people are declining. How? Health-wise, the ability to think. We tend to reason much less. We follow the crowd. We follow the system. Our cognitive ability is going backwards. And so smart cities are not really that smart, I would say. So the thing is that the pandemic was really, I would say, the pivotal moment when people realized that once you lock people down, and then you had humans up against each other, health was declining, everything was at its lowest point for the human being. So, yes, so Through the Golden Door initiative is really to raise up the human being, because technology is moving with leaps and bounds, but our evolution is not catching up.
That makes sense.
And the basis of Golden Door is the values, the virtues and the values, instead of key performance indicators, as a society is based on key performance indicators in the world. We feel that it should be key value indicators now. We have established a lot of technology. We've established a lot of the infrastructure and all that, but now the softer side, the human values, is declining. So now we need to work on and place it as a measurement in society, key value indicators. Because the problems in the world is really because of issues in values, in lack of integrity, misinformation, and lack of transparency, corruption. All these problems is causing poverty, is causing wars. Technology cannot solve it. It goes back to us. So this is what in essence, Golden Door is about.
So is it really about changing people's values from kind of wanting stuff, money or whatever, to kind of wanting more relationships and interaction with other people, and I guess joy and family connections, friend connections. Is that one of the parts of this, or is it
very broad? That is a very broad perspective. I think there are many different organizations we're all coming together to do that. But for us specifically, we're focused on trust, trustworthiness, and integrity. So we want to put that as a foundation for society to build the future leaders who have those values. And that's why when Golden Door first began as an initiative, it started first with the written word. So we called it Truth and Integrity of the Written Word, and that was in 2019. So we officially launched in 2020 with the event. So it was on that. And then we slowly went from the written word to the spoken word, because these two things are what shapes mindsets. The first thing when you wake up in the morning, you are reading the written word or you are hearing spoken word. So that shapes mindset. So we want to bring it to shape what people write and speak about to as close, pure a message as possible, and not just following trends, not just, the world can be, like I said, it's all driven by something which is away from our true values as humans. So going back to the original message, the deep message that we carry, and not tainting it based on what the world wants, because of marketing, because of trends. Yeah. That's simple.
That sounds extremely similar to what Martin and I have tried to do with our TruthWorks project. We have a whole kind of pillar on our website. The pillars of Protopia, which is, in my mind, very similar to moving our world to a new age and a new kind of Golden Door initiative. So it's very much in line with what we're trying to do, is just get the actual truth out to people in any way we can, and to just talk about it and understand it better.
So recognizing people who would write, who would have the courage to do this, and also this platform was really to raise them up. They could be, they don't get too much encouragement because they're normally, they don't get picked up by publishers.
Yeah.
Because publishers are looking at, the first thing now, if you ask to look for a good publisher, they'll ask for the number of your following. They don't really care about your message. They'll ask about your following. They'll find out about your profile in society. Oh, it's got a high standing. You probably will do several books.
Yeah.
Right. And those who do not have that, they may have some very important message for the world to hear, but they don't get published. And they may have not a big readership eventually. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to go back to what it should be. The core messages that bring that out. So we see what's happening in Hollywood and social media. What's attractive and catches people is out there everywhere. And then everything else is drowning. It's lost in this pile of information, which doesn't really build us up.
Yeah, we definitely have to find some way to amalgamate the truth and make it more, I guess, flashy, fun, and interesting without losing its core, true message of what we need to do to make.
We want to bring it up, and that's important to have platforms that do this. So it's like we're trying to sort the world out to go back to what it was, what it should be. So it's been like this a long time, but it should be, and celebrating these people. So then from there, the written word to spoken word, it went on to actual projects. So we have, as I shared, the eco-societies projects. Right. So these writers and speakers have come together in various countries, and they started working on establishing new societies. And again, the foundation Golden Door is trustworthiness, because without trust between two people or community or nations, it crumbles. So so this is the essence, and this is what we're doing.
Oh, it sounds great. So I'm full disclosure, I'm a big fan of your book. I've read it all. It was very enlightening and kind of eye-opening in many ways from my personal journey. Very similar from my perspective to what I've been kind of going through the last 5 to 10 years of my life. So I love it. Highly recommend it to everyone else out there to check it out online through the Golden Door. As far as the website and initiative, I've noticed there's a course there as well, correct? For like truth creators, in order to learn how to create truth and learn how to kind of be a better truth writer, I guess. Would you talk about that for a little bit? What that entails?
Yeah, we guide people to first find their message, and many times people don't know what it is. So we get them through the journaling process, finding what their core process is. It's a combination of journaling and meditation, and also self-reflection. So this is how we start the program. And then they will slowly, through the exercises, reflecting on their journey to date, their from childhood to now, and what their core message is, because I believe everybody is a messenger. Everybody's got something in them which should be out there, whether it's an essay or book or whatever it is, and or a video message. So you help them find the message first, and then we guide them on the writing process, how to get a book together. Okay, from book architecture to characterization, and also the genres they would want to choose, whether it's more prose or drama or poetry. You know, the original writings was poetry, actually.
Yeah,
I love with poetry. So we guide them on that. And then from there, we teach them the marketing principle, because like I said, many of these people, like us, we are so drawn to important messages, and we're not good at marketing it as well. And to bring it out there, and then there'll be someone who teaches them marketing, but in the proper way it should be done.
Yeah, that sounds definitely like a kind of course I'd love to take, or maybe even teach someday. Just something that I enjoy learning about and teaching about.
So they find that we take them on a journey, they'll find out, okay, this is what I'm supposed to do. And then we get them through, and they write a draft, and then we can review it for them. And then, we go through the whole process. And it also has an optional speaking component. So, because many writers have to be able to speak and deliver their message. So we teach them on video, mostly on video, and also in person speaking. So creators.
Have there been a lot of people do it? About how many have gone through this course, if you don't mind my asking? Is it just kind of getting started, or
most right now we are offering it mostly to our award participants of the Golden Door, and those who are shortlisted, the finalists, we offer that. We haven't marketed to go public yet, but we just have it there for these people first. And then when we've got everything, all the pieces in, because it's still a very new program. Okay? Then we will put it publicly out there. So, because you see, we have to be very careful for such a program that is so extensive. We have to make sure that we built it right. So with this audience who are the award finalists, we fine-tune. What you see out there really is the beta.
Maybe. Yeah, definitely very involved in kind of learning about that whole process and staying involved there for sure. Okay, so we've got the course, and you've also got a big gala coming up, I guess, the awards ceremony, which is also very interesting.
Yes, yeah, it's the purpose of the gala really is because we've been having virtual events, and then we've been shaping what Golden Door is about. Okay, this time we're going to all meet in person, and then we're going to share what the vision of Golden Door is about, and how we plan to go forward based on what we've accomplished to date. So it's like formalizing the organization. Because in anything, you may have an idea. It takes a little bit of time to get all the right people inside of the organizational structure, get that in place, make it tested and proven, and then really launch very publicly. So we've been sort of been keeping ourselves on the radar, really.
Yeah.
You don't see us advertising anywhere. We don't put YouTube videos. No, not yet. Because you have to see, because of the values that we carry is integrity.
Yeah.
So we have to make sure that we have everything in place. So we do ourselves walk the talk. So if you try to launch something which is still not proven, you make yourself susceptible. Took us 5 years to build.
So you don't believe in the classical Silicon Valley fake it till you make it, over-promising and under-delivering?
We can't do that. We can't do that. We've been building it for 5 years. And just getting the right people, getting the very carefully curated people in the organization as leadership, co-leadership model. Decentralized. We had to work out decentralized leadership in our own organization. We had to ourselves be like we walk through the golden door. We had to practice it ourselves before we start teaching it.
Mm.
Yeah. So over time, we've been building like small communities, the eco-societies in various parts of Africa and Europe and all that. But again, very low profile. We said, okay, let's first test the ground. Let's teach them first. Make sure we have the right model. Then we will go public. And that's what finally we went public.
What kind of model would you have in mind for, I guess, electing leaders or voting for certain initiatives? Did you kind of do it as is it more collaborative or is it consensus based? How do you make your decisions in your organization? Is it kind of top down? Are you the...
No. Decentralized leadership means, involves a bit of what you call devolution of power. Devolution means you shift away from the major decision making. You actually trust the people, the leaders you've appointed. Okay, so it's based on consensus, all right, but it's also as a leader on the top, you don't make all the decisions. You delegate the decisions, and also at every level, it's based on a co-leadership model. So this means, like, if you notice, when you attended the Golden Door Dialogues, I don't know you did.
Yeah,
we had co-chairs. The Golden Dialogue has co-chairs. So every position, there's one person to witness and to support, always in sync with each other. So they have regular one-on-one meetings, which are not necessarily a week meeting. It just be a connection. And it maybe have no agenda, and they just connect, and it's like they're always energetically in sync.
Okay.
We teach them, I call it the co-leadership model, the groups of 2s and 3s. So they're always in sync. And so every role is based on co-leadership. We're building that up for a while.
Neat.
Yeah.
So I'm just trying to imagine what that might look like on a worldwide level. So let's fast forward a few years or even maybe decades. Say you have a few 100,000 or million or tens of millions of people involved in the Golden Door Initiative, building different eco-societies from the ground up, building different kinds of communities. How would you kind of manage the democracy / consensus part of that? Would you have like voting platforms online? Would you have kind of, you push your leaders up through some kind of tiered democratic governance? We've done that a little bit in our past.
You need to use technology. It's both the human and technology. So whether it's technology that allows information to be completely transparent, and you have blockchain for that. So that's where blockchain is important. Gaming also is key, because with gaming technology, we can create a journey in the game, so that educational journey in the game, so that the leaders, the new leaders and those who are also been there for a while, can go through that game and then be taught skills. So you need technology, right? And And then we emphasize in-person meeting, virtual meeting, informal meeting, formal meeting. Formal means agenda, informal means no agenda, because the spiritual connection is needed also. Where they talk about personal things, it's fine. So then there is a sense of trust. Okay. Like you say, if you look at the people you trust the most, they're generally your best friends and your family. So you have to bring a little bit of the personal in. So we have the no agenda meetings. I know the personal life of my leaders, and they know my, not deeply, not everything, but they have a sense of who I am, and not just my post. So I think that's important, and also very important, the whole generative dialogue. We ourselves have to practice generative dialogue, which is we need to be good listeners, good, deep listeners. The whole public speaking arena is about, it's a very powerful speech. But I don't think there's any particular course that teaches you about being a really good listener. You need to have more of those. So,
yeah, I would say it's because that's one of the things that you mentioned, the generative dialogue. I've already written an article about our take on that, because as part of Project Contribute, we're actually trying to develop a platform that should enable something like that technologically, because we also believe in the technology being a necessary component in sort of scaling up these kinds of systems or models to be functional in the future. But I first would say I really like the idea that a smart city should be a city with smart people in it. And that's what the definition should mean. I really like that rebranding to begin with.
We need to get more common sense.
Yeah. Also, generally, I was quite silent throughout your talking, because I find everything you're saying extremely agreeable on the level of principle. So that's somewhat unusual. But also, when you mentioned the listening courses, I do know of one. It's just extremely uncommon. And that's what we actually, when we mentioned debate is something we want to sort of use as inspiration for our system, we really meant what the debate adjudicators are doing, not what the debaters are doing in the debate. And if you go through a course to be a debate adjudicator, that's actually a course in a very advanced listening, because the adjudicator gets all the tools to be able to just sit there and just understand and analyze what everybody has actually said, draw a whole diagram, which is how we believe, give it to the technology to process it. So there's like a whole diagramming method to like what actually been said, and then how to actually give feedback to people based on what exactly they said, to really break it down, to improve it, to like with the goal not to defeat them with the argument, but with the goal to give them an ability to improve their arguments or figure out the flaws in their thinking. So that's the part of debate that we're interested in. And I've been saying for quite a long time to everybody who was listening that what is needed in education is to give people this kind of course in specifically active listening as the most important and valuable thing from debating. And nobody's talking about it, and nobody's teaching it, and nobody knows about this, and I don't know why. It's just not the trend to care about that.
One of our best podcasts was Making Debating Cool Again. It was quite fun, but it really comes down to, like Martin's saying, about listening better and just understanding your own perspective and debating yourself more than debating others, as far as what we can do to make the world a better place for everybody.
So, yeah, that's true. And the other thing, I not mentioned it to you before about the generative dialogue, is the Cantor model, where, the Cantor model involves move, follow, bystand, and oppose. So generally, each of us have a one or two that we have a comfort zone in. Like, some people it's a follow, for some people it's oppose. They generally want to oppose, and some it's a move, and some it's a mix of both. So in a good generative dialogue, we teach the participants or panelists to actually go into the the actions which they generally don't venture into, so that it becomes a very balanced conversation. So I tend to make a move, and I tend to bystand, generally like a bystand observer. I realize sometimes I need to follow, sometimes I need to make an opposition, but the opposition in a generative dialogue is very diplomatic. It's respectful.
Yeah.
So, but we need to make an opposition, or because otherwise you won't get perspective.
Yeah.
You need to get alternate perspective, and that's really key. So all of us, we need to come out of our comfort zone and not just rest in that area. And that's why the generative dialogue is so important. Teaches you aspects of your personality coming out and becoming more whole and complete. And the other thing is the generative dialogue is also an example of decentralized leadership, because a powerful generative dialogue does not require a host. Everybody has shared intention to make the dialogue success and for some great things to emerge and to be discussed. So the energy is shared and the information just flows. Someone says something, there's reflection, there's pause, and then somebody said that's in. It actually moves very nicely, like a flow. So that's what we're hoping to achieve in the next Golden Door Forum.
Okay.
This year, where we may not have hosts, and see those have been trained well in the practice.
I have a quick question about your eco-societies and how some of that is done. So I've watched several of the videos. You've invited me to kind of partake. The timing is always a little weird for me being in a different time zone. But I will say that the ones I've watched are interesting in the way that a lot of them seem to be kind of similar, with people coming on. They all seem to say similar kinds of thank you, great to be part of this. And most of, they're only about 30 minutes long, but a good chunk of it is kind of intro and then kind of closing. And it doesn't really seem like we spend that much time on kind of the meat and potatoes of the actual meeting, from my perspective anyway. And I'm just kind of curious if there's any kind of thought as far as how to solve some of this, time spent in just kind of introducing yourself and saying thank you so much, and then kind of spending a lot of time on that. Have you thought about? Has there been much consideration of that?
You feel there's too much time on the introduction or something?
A little bit. In some ways, that it feels like if you have 100 people in a room and everyone says it's great to be here, thank you so much, then that burns 10, 15 minutes.
I think the videos you watched was when you were just starting.
Perhaps, yeah. I've only seen maybe 3 or 4, but most of the ones I kind of skip through that and I try to find the meat and potatoes, because sometimes it's hard to find.
Those are just starting. People are just getting to know, and it's very, very initial phase. But the last, I would say the last 2 months, and then really getting into the meat of it.
Okay, great.
This week we covered Italy, and then every week is a different country.
I'll have to keep on watching all of them.
Because every week is just a little bit of bonding. It's a little bit. And we keep the meetings to half an hour, just a little bit of introduction. It's not, like I said, it's not like a detailed agenda. It was a formal meeting. So we were starting with very informal meetings, and then we had formal meetings.
Okay. I think it's exciting to kind of definitely understand the core concept of each meeting. What are we trying to accomplish here?
Strictly, before at that time, people were just having a feel and we're just moving along. So you have to allow that. Sometimes you don't know where it's going. Yeah.
No, that makes sense to me, because you can have different purposes for different types of sessions, and not all of them make sense to an external audience on camera. Outside of that you'd have to probably have a session that's specifically for that purpose, and what's produced there then would make sense as something that you show to people outside of that.
Yeah, but these videos which you said watched were not public.
That was
community only. It's not public videos. None of our eco societies meetings are.
Okay. Great. Well, I'll definitely look forward to being a part of one when I can get the timing worked out and actually be there and
Yeah.
try not to take too long introducing myself to the group, but it'll be great to be a part of it for sure.
No, I think we just go straight to it now. Now there's not enough time. We go straight immediately by the dot. We start this Friday is Syria.
Okay, great.
Yeah. So it's very different from what you've seen before.
Excellent. No, I'm looking forward to seeing how that evolves. And it's definitely something Martin and I are very interested in doing as well. Some kind of online community with Saving the World Together. Being a part of these dialogues and just getting more people involved to generate these ideas on where we take this podcast, where we take our website, where we take our generative work to make the world better. Mm-hmm. So it's very much in line with what we're doing, I think.
Oh, that's great. That's great. Yeah, I hope this helped.
Excellent. Martin, did you have any other questions or anything else you'd like to dig deeper in with Tahira?
Well, I just really wanted to mention that generative dialogue concept thing and what actually we mean by debating, because I really think that, like, I agree with you that the listening is the most important component. And it's just a bit challenging to create a technological platform that enables that, or that maybe not just enables, but maybe even like fosters actively, because the main thing that tech people, as far as I'm aware, like what they're afraid of is like intelligence explosion of like the artificial intelligence, because they believe that if you apply technology, it will accelerate intelligence. And it's sort of interesting that what they've built for humans is an intelligence implosion machine that accelerates people becoming dumber. So I guess, like, from my perspective, it's not really that technology is like evil or bad or something. It's that the technology should be engineered differently. Like if we believe that technology can foster intelligence explosion, then how about making a technology that fosters human intelligence explosion? Because instead of enabling or incentivizing all the worst impulses, it actually incentivizes the things that we should be doing. So maybe a question for you, like as somebody who has a tech background, like what do you think? Like, are you optimistic about some like particular applications of technology in the future to foster some specific kind of human advancement?
As long as the technology is enabling and not replacing, I'm really worried about like ChatGPT. ChatGPT, if used in the right way, it enables, but then there's some who do not realize, and then it tends to replace what they're supposed to be doing. Just about a week ago, a lady came to me and she said, "Oh, I wrote a poem with ChatGPT." And then she recited the poem to me. It was not good. It felt to her it was good. To a layman, it was really good because it used all the fancy words. Like she put in all the words that she wanted in the poem, then used all the fancy words, and it churned out quite a comprehensive poem. When I read it out, it had no soul. The poem had no soul. So in that way, in poetry, you really have to go deep in your soul and feel an emotion, and that's how poetry comes out. So if they're going to start doing this, then we have a problem. So it really is about the human awareness. You can't bank on technology to make sure that it's going to resolve or accelerate human intelligence. We ourselves need to be aware how to use the technology. We need to educate our children how and when to use technology.
Okay.
Yeah, that makes sense.
It's a basic knowledge. It's like just like any normal thing, what you do every day. How do you use technology? When do you use it? In what purpose? That needs to be taught.
Yeah, it's just full disclosure. I also wrote a whole bunch of poetry back in the day, so I fully understand what you mean when people are really impressed with the writing of ChatGPT. When it's a general rule, it's really just not that impressive to people who actually write, because you see how derivative it is. It's like a recombination of vague things.
I kept reading it. It didn't feel the soul. It didn't move me.
Interesting. Excellent. So Tahira, if people are interested in getting more involved with the Golden Door Initiative, where would you direct them? Just straight to the website? Is there anything you'd like them to kind of learn before trying to get involved, or
Go straight to the website through thegoldendoor.com. They can, if they want, they can send me an email, tahira@throughthegoldendoor.com. If they happen to be in Singapore and they want to meet all the other people involved and want to meet the people who are aligned the vision, yeah, you're welcome. Website.
Is there a certain type of people you're looking for right now, or is it just anybody who's interested in?
People who are visionaries, writers, speakers, change makers. And they get to be part of the community. Sometimes, like I said, in person also makes a big difference. And the people are involved in various projects. So it'd be great to be there. And it's going to be, we're hoping to make it mainstream. And that's why we're having it in Singapore. Singapore was actually known to be a censored society. If I don't know if you know this in the news and all, it's always been known to be quite censored. The media is very much, but you only have one press, say. Yeah. Yeah. So, but then it's been evolving, and now there's a realization about how this is important, and making it mainstream, bringing in these values as part of the system. That's important. We can shift the mindset, but it also needs to shift the system. It's like, for example, a person of integrity, could move to a very corrupt country, okay, and then you will become corrupt also, because there's no way to survive. So you need to have the system needs to also be aligned with the mindset.
Yeah. Agreed.
So maybe I have one question, because I've organized some international debating tournaments. I'm aware that Singapore actually famously has some very good debaters who keep winning world debating tournaments. So I just wanted to ask if you have any, like maybe it's about something about the system there or education systems. Like if you have any insight as into like why that would be, that there's like seems to be a lot of focus on effective communication in Singapore.
So Singapore's debating is good?
Extremely. Like it actually, you even like won World Schools Debating Championship you hosted some years ago.
The debating is a very key component in schools. And every school is a bit of a great thing if you're a debater. But what we're trying to do is we're trying to also encourage generative dialogue to come in. Okay? Because generative dialogue is what allows for creativity. Debates makes you think, because you're right. There is listening because they are presenting an argument. So I would say both are good, but both have a different purpose.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Tahira. It was excellent to get kind of an overall feedback. Is there anything else you'd like to ask us or anything else you'd like to share with our viewers today as far as the Golden Door Initiative and how we can help you moving forward?
Right now we're just working on this in-person event and we hope to also have it maybe in another location in Europe. That's probably next year, year after. I would, if I can share the link also of this event, I'll forward to you and you can share it with your viewers. And make it standing in the link, it shows the journey and also shows what we are hoping to achieve. Because ultimately, we're sort of at a precipice of how societies need to be designed. We're stepping into a new territory now. The world needs to step into that. Gone are the days of the economic indicators. Now it's the human, because especially with ChatGPT, became open, oh my God. You're talking about AI is just going to speed ahead.
Yeah.
2 months. I mean, it's unbelievable. We don't know what's going to happen next year. So we need to really focus on the human evolution.
Yeah.
And that's what we're focused on. And we invite participation. It doesn't matter which industry you're in. It's this close community that supports each other. We invite you to be part of it.
Oh, absolutely. And we're definitely huge fans of anything that moves us forward towards a kind of a borderless online community of friends and family working together to understand these challenges that we're all facing in the world. We got to stop thinking in terms of nationalities and GDP and all these wars that are going on in the world. We've got to find a way to make our connections.
And the last thing is that we feel that it's now about the collaboration of the small. There have been the rising of the giants, but all the small players, the small communities need to come together in complete trust. Because we found this, that there are a lot of communities forming, but there's sometimes they don't work together.
Yeah.
There's competition there. We need to really move away from thinking of competition. Oh, my project, my community.
Yeah.
We really need to shift the my to our.
100%. Yeah. That's exactly what we're doing with our work as well, is just finding the connections, seeing really the same. We're more alike than we are different. And we need to work together if we're to have hope of solving these big worldwide problems.
We not move as fast because, you asked me about all these techniques, the generative. We just shared it openly because we have to do that. This is important in order to accelerate.
Absolutely.
And create abundance. Yes.
I'm very much looking forward to getting involved more myself. Maybe I can start a Golden Door in Canada someday when Canada is ready for it, and start having our own meetings here. Martin, do you have any final comments or questions for Tahira before we sign off for now?
Well, just one more thing. I have sort of a favorite economics take from a Czech economist. He wrote a relatively famous book called Economics of Good and Evil. And so I really like these kind of perspectives on how economics are also supposed to be about values. Because if you just think about one of his, I think, analysis is something like if you have goods, it's derived from the word good. It should be something like that's good, like for people. So but again, I just generally agree on the level of principle with basically 100% of what you explained about your initiative.
You raised a very good point. I think the subject of economics needs to be revisited.
Yeah. We've done a lot of work on trying to imagine how a new worldwide economy beyond borders and beyond national governments might work if we had some kind of World Bank that was run by the people, for the people. Say the Golden Door had their own economy or bank or currency of some kind, and how that might look, or how we could maybe do that in a fair, effective, and open way. So it works for the people, by the people, and not for the few people in charge of it.
Yeah.
So So I'm very interested in that, how that might evolve. And I think there's definitely a lot of opportunity there for us to rethink economics, rethink GDP as an indicator, and rethink how we want our future societies to function. So lots of fun.
And moving away from, and also measuring, valuing time, because time is the thing that brings people at the same level, like amount of time nurse puts in is the same amount of time an investment banker puts in, but he's making 100 times, 1,000 times more than the time of what the nurse puts in, but the value that she is putting in is.
Yeah.
I think we need to start looking at time. And there's a concept of time equity.
Yeah. That's Richard Kiernecki, I think, is the one I've connected with him about a year ago, actually, as well. And I noticed he was one of your speakers at the Golden Door Gala last time.
Yeah.
So it's a lot of fun. I think it was The Capitalist Worst Nightmare Come True was his book.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So, Yeah, and I've read his book as well, cover to cover, and a lot of interesting concepts there. We'll have to try to get him as a guest on the podcast someday. He hasn't been on yet, but hopefully soon we can get him on as well.
Okay, great.
But yeah. All right. Well, thank you so much, Tahira. It was great having you here today. I hope our viewers have all been able to learn something, and hopefully some of them will show interest and be a part of the Golden Door Initiative as well. Any final comments or words that you'd like to finish with? Do you have a catchphrase? Catchphrases are always a lot of fun. I've been working on mine.
Catchphrase? Okay.
What's a catchphrase for the Golden Door Initiative? What you sign off with?
You know what? In everything, I just be aware. Just I start the day by putting myself on the balcony. Have you heard of this concept of balcony and dance? So just put yourself on the balcony and just look at everything that you experienced yesterday and what you feel now, and you're looking into your life. So I think that's important, is to be aware. If we can put ourselves back in awareness constantly throughout the day, place ourselves back up to the balcony. Okay, why did I say these words? Why did I do that? So I think it's that check-in process. I think it's very, very powerful. We could practice that, all of us.
I agree.
A lot of things can be changed.
I like Martin's balcony behind him and just looking over what the world might look like. And this is my version of kind of a protopian community of some kind. It's lots of fun. Just imagine what the world might be like if we just come together a little bit more and focus on the good and the truth.
Yeah.
So thank you so much, Tahira. And we'll look forward to meeting with you again soon. And we'll sign off there and let's save the world together.
Okay. Bye. Thank you. Bye.